Hi, I'm Emerson, and today I'm presenting Crypto Towns, which is a on-chain town building game. In Crypto Towns, you build buildings, buildings generate resources. You use those resources to train units, and you use those units to attack other towns based on other players in the game. So here's a quick demo of the game itself, where right now it's live with a bunch of towns on the map. Let me adjust the, yeah. Ooh, yeah. These are all the towns on the map itself. And right now, we're running our third round of our game. We have a lot of people on the leaderboard, and you can also view any towns and their state. So, for example, here's a top ranked town with some buildings that recently finished upgrading. And here you have unclaimed resources that you can claim if you own this town. With these resources, you can generate units based on the buildings you already have. You can train units, and units consume resources and housing prices. These are the number of blocks that it takes to train these units. And once you have a lot of units, you can go attack other towns that you do not own. So you can click on attack to attack any town. And if you have units based on the number of units that you're attacking other towns with, you can destroy their HP and prevent them from stealing your spot on a leaderboard. Or you can also steal resources from them, such as uh, well, this guy didn't have any resources to steal from. So the town just got destroyed and got a lot of HP consumed. Yeah, and right now with all these people on your leaderboards, the more buildings you upgrade, the higher the score that you get, and the more HP that you'll have all the way down. So let's address the elephant in the room, which is that everything that I've shown you so far is all possible using existing technology. In fact, the game that we launched is all built in TypeScript just for fast iteration. Because Web3 doesn't mean that a game is inherently more fun. And for the average player out there, it's far more likely that they would just go and play an existing game like League of Legends instead of what we're building here. So why are we building this on chain? And why do we eventually want to move all the logic on there? Right now, in the state of game development, Web2 game features are centralized. So a game studio or game developer is entirely in charge of the features and planning, and also takes a lot of resources to develop those. So for example, Genshin Impact, which is a free game that's on a AAA scale, spends around $200 million a year to develop features and keep players interested. Minecraft as well also spends $60 million a year on these yearly updates to just keep users interested. And these are examples of games where they either depend or not depend on user generated content. But even when they do in the case of Minecraft, it still requires a lot of resources. But the distinction here is that when you have a game where the features and developments are centralized in a way, then the then there is a very big distinction between first party and third party features. And if we define a truly native game where assets such as units and blocks or voxels are defined by contract standards, and there will be no hierarchical difference between first and third party features, which allows for modders and developers to capture the value directly, as is not the case with current environments like Minecraft and Roblox. So building on top of Web3 games, natively designed games, is 10 times better than building on top of existing Web2 game platforms. Because first, they are permissionless with open APIs that allow anyone to build on top of. In the case of Minecraft, where developers thrive, there isn't even an official set of APIs such that every new update breaks every old mod that has ever been developed. It can be decentralized, meaning that protocol level developers can't rug the modders and the developers on top of it. And the third thing is that users or developers of these platforms can capture value by charging for the content that they have developed. In the case of Roblox right now, there's this restrictive revenue sharing scheme where more than 80% of all the proceeds from third-party creations go towards the developers instead of being captured by these creators themselves. And lastly, because blockchain games last forever, the risk of developers losing their hard work and their labor based on a platform that collapses is extremely low. And so on Crypto Towns, this means that after we iterate on the game, users will be able to create new buildings, tech trees, and units that don't already exist within the framework and within the features that we've developed so far. But this is just an example of user-generated content. In reality, it could be anything that just makes the game better, like alliances, combat mechanics, profiles, marketplaces, and global chat. These are all things that we're going to be implementing down the road as we get more users onto our platform and as we iterate and increase retention. But the main point is that anyone else can also build on top of our game, and the features that we develop won't be any more privileged than theirs, such that they'll also be recognized on the equal same footing. So with regard to the balancing of buildings that other people can define, we also want to make sure that it doesn't break the existing ecosystems. So we could make resource generation to be unchangeable, such that new buildings that are created don't upset existing balances. Unit costs, we unit costs would use VRGDA to prevent OP ones from being created. Of course, as time goes on, as more resources get accumulated, there would be better troops that are scaled with resource costs, such that over time, just like in the real world, people can get more powerful weapons and so on, and also units and buildings. So we want to build crypto towns into the game where it can live on forever, so the community can build and own all of the features and the value capture as well. So we've launched a month ago with 692 players, 15% weekly retention, and one user-generated bot by a very, very active player. So we have a Discord, and our goal is to develop crypto towns into a game platform that is open for anyone to be able to build on. Because having a game that is basically unruggable, both by developers and the community, holds very dear to my brother and I. Because our previous project was a play to earn implementation on top of Minecraft, and Microsoft later banned NFTs. So, yeah, well, that's what we aspire crypto towns to be, which is something that everyone will be able to own. And you can visit us at cryptotowns.xyz. Feel free to connect with my brother and I on Telegram, and that's our Twitter. Yeah.